Hello everyone and welcome back to AmmoMart.com, where you can find real firepower online. I'm very excited to do this video today because it covers a topic that's quickly becoming a pet peeve of mine, and what I'm actually going to attempt to do is save some of our viewers a lot of money. As I've covered before, I was in sales for years before I got into my duties that I'm doing now, and it always amazed me when first-time gun buyers would come in, especially the women, and they would be discounted by sales help saying, here, you need to buy a revolver because it's simple. And that always made me think, most of them drove a car here. How much more complicated could a semi-automatic pistol be than all of that? The point I'm getting at here is this. Whether you're a female or a male, if you're a first-time gun buyer, don't buy a snub-nosed revolver, especially one without a hammer. This gun is designed to be carried a lot and shot a little. It is certainly for people that are already handgun proficient. And if you're not, if you ever get proficient with this gun, it will take you forever. And by the time you get there, you've bought 2 or 3 or 4 more of these guns in ammunition cost alone. This is an unbelievably bad idea for a first-time gun buyer. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is I had 2 of these in my first shots class just last Monday. By the time the evening was over, one of the ladies was in tears. And importantly, those are not inexpensive guns. You're going to be into that weapon for $450, $500, depending on where you shop and the different things. It is a substantial purchase. Now, you could argue that micro 9s are just as challenging. And to that, I would say they are. And you shouldn't buy a micro 9 for your first time gun either. That's also an incredibly bad idea. Buy a bigger gun than you think you need. Buy a ranged gun first. Some people call them a home gun, home defense gun. I don't care what you call it. Buy a larger gun, and by that I don't mean caliber, I mean by frame size, than you think you need. And importantly, even though the salesperson might be helpful in telling you the world as he knows it, do your own research. These are some of the most often returned guns at any gun store throughout the country because they're inaccurate. This was never designed as a range gun, so I'm not bashing the Smith Airweight at all. I'm really not. You could buy a micro pistol, say a Ruger LCP, same problem. Smith & Wesson Bodyguard, same problem. People buy into the fact that because the gun is of small frame, things are somehow magically going to be simpler for them, and they're in fact not. They're going to be way more complicated, and the recoil impulse is just flat not enjoyable. So what I'm going to do is a little bit of an accuracy demonstration, and hopefully we can illustrate the shortcomings of a 2-inch barrel when you don't have a hammer. So there's no stage trigger, there's no single action to the trigger cycle. It's all managing that extra long double action trigger stroke. Not fun. Is it doable? Yes. But keep in mind, this gun was designed to protect yourself at a short distance. That's it. Almost a weapon of last resort. What I've done is I have a target set up at 7 yards on purpose. Statistics show that most civilian-involved shootings take place somewhere between 3 and 7 yards. So today I've moved the target out to the outer range of that, the outer limit of that, and I'm going to see how well I can do with this limited amount of accuracy built into the gun as compared to a larger frame one with a 4-inch barrel and a trigger that you can actually stage. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this demonstration. If the demonstration isn't to your liking, please hear me clear. If you're a first-time buyer, regardless of your gender, buy a larger gun than you think you need, whether it's a revolver or a semi-automatic pistol. So for the accuracy test, what I've done, 7 yards, have a body size target-ish. I'm going to try to run right down the middle with the Airweight. We talked before about some of its deficiencies. Please note how long it actually takes me to steady the sights, manipulate the trigger without disrupting the sights, and actually break the shot. Takes quite a long time. More time than you would typically have in an emergency situation. more or less right down the middle. We'll go same deal. Slightly left. That one was a bit high, but all rounds fired, cylinder empty. Now, for those of you at home or watching are going, well, what's wrong with that? Well, what's wrong with that to begin with is the time. It takes too much time, and that's as very best as I can do. Hopefully you're also catching on this camera how badly this guy impulses. New shooters, you're not going to be able to run the gun that way. It's painful, it's not an enjoyable experience, and in most cases, it's downright scary. So, we're going to put same type of ammunition in the larger barreled, larger frame Taurus Model 66, and I'll run it double and single action so you can kind of get an idea on how, especially for a first timer, a double single action revolver is the way to go. So, double action for 5, and then we'll switch to single for 5. Try to use the same aiming point as the Smith. Yep, thought so. Hopefully, what came to light, if you're still watching the video, is the gun doesn't jump around as much. Way less recoil impulse, way easier to train people who haven't fired before, and it doesn't come with its own brand of built-in recoil sensitivity. Not too bad of a group. Now we'll switch to the single action mode, which I think most new shooters are going to prefer. Same drill, single action every time. So, same aiming point. So, you'll notice I basically have one shot out of clump. Looks easy, and you might be saying to yourself, well, you're actually showing me something that you didn't say in the beginning of the video. Here's the thing. If you're a first-time gun buyer, and you happen to purchase at a store that has an indoor range, go try the same demonstration and see which one you actually do better with. If you are shopping in a store that doesn't have a range attached, go to an indoor range and rent a gun, rent the revolver you intend to buy, and try it. Don't take the salesperson's word for it. Buying guns are like buying shoes. If you don't know the guy on the other side of the counter well enough to let him buy you a pair of shoes, don't let him buy your gun. Go try it. It's the best part of indoor rangers. There's always rental programs. The help there will help you to be safe and efficient with the gun. And try it before you buy it, and I will guarantee you this will not be your choice. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't be afraid to like and subscribe. And Matt and I really enjoy the comments and the interaction we have with our viewers. Even if you have a completely different point of view, it's still a great dialogue and something that I really enjoy the most about shooting these videos. Thanks for your time, and we'll see you next week.